So we're now at the stage where we have this page here listing out the contacts, and when we click this button to add a new contact, a modal appears on the screen with the form to allow us to add a new contact. But at the moment, of course, this is not wired up to the back end, so if we submit this form, nothing is going to happen. We're now going to hook up the form submission using HTMX, and we're going to use the HX post attribute. Now what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to go to the documentation, and let's have a look at what the HX post attribute does. This is basically the attribute you use to trigger a post request to the server. And as with the HX get request, this is going to be an AJAX request under the hood, so no page reloading is going to occur. It's just going to send a post request, and in the request body is going to be, in this case, the contents of the form. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this form here and we're going to submit it to a new URL in Django that's going to handle the contact creation. So let's open VS Code and go to urls.py, and let's copy this URL here to the line below, and we're going to update the path here. So it's going to be /create, and I want to change the name here to create contact. That's going to be the view that we're going to call when the user sends a post request to /create, and we'll give this URL a name of create contact. So now we have a new URL pattern. We now need to add the Django view to handle the request. So let's go to views.py, and I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. We're going to create the function, and it's going to be called create contact. And as with all Django views, it's going to take the HTTP request as the first argument. Now for now, let's just pass on this view. I want to add a couple of decorators here to adjust the behavior of the view. So let's go to the top of the file, and I'm going to bring an import in from Django. And it's this require HTTP methods import. Now the reason that we're importing that, if we go back down to the view, I want to decorate this and use require HTTP methods. And basically we're only going to allow post requests to this view. So we're going to use that list there in Python, and we're going to add post. So it's only going to accept post requests. And above that, I also want to add the login require decorator as well. So only authenticated users should be able to send a post request to create a new contact in the database. So now that we have this new URL and this Django view, what we're going to do is go back to the template. So I'm going to bring back the sidebar here, and let's go to the template here for the modal that contains our form. So it's this add contact modal.html file. And we're going to find the form itself, and if we scroll to the top of this file, it's this one here. And currently this is using the normal method equals post attribute to submit the post request to the back end. What we're going to do though is change this. So let's remove this, and what we're going to use instead is the HX post attribute, and we're going to send the post request to the new Django URL that we created, and we gave that a name of create contact. Now before we test this out, let's think about what we want to achieve here. So there's going to be two scenarios. The first one is when we successfully submit the form and the contact is added to the database. When that happens, what we want to do is add the contact to the top of this table that's shown on the front end. So simply we add a new contact and it appears in the table after that, and that's all done with HTMX and no page reloads. The second scenario is that something goes wrong and the submission fails. In that case, we want to keep the modal open and we want to inform the user about that. We're going to handle this second scenario in the next video. For this video though, we're just going to handle when a successful submission occurs. So what we're going to do is write the view to handle this successful submission. So create contact, at the moment we're passing, we're going to remove that and we're going to write the code in here. And it's going to use the form that we have, and that's the contact form, and we're going to pass the posted data from HTMX into that form. And in Django, a form, once you've populated it with the data, has an isValid method. And if the form is valid, we can then process that form. So if we go to forms.py, this contact form that we're using, this is an instance of a Django modal form, and that means that it has a save method. So we can get the contact by calling form.save, but I'm not going to save this to the database at the moment. So what we're going to pass in here is the commit equals false keyword argument. Basically, that's going to create the contact model instance, but it's not going to call the save method. And the reason for that is that we want to associate the user with the request.user property. So what we're going to do here is say that contact.user is equal to request.user. Why are we doing that? Let's go to modals.py. So what we're doing in the form is we're adding a contact with a name and an email address. But who does this contact belong to? That is determined by the user foreign key. So we're going to set that to whoever actually submitted the form. So if we go back to views.py, the submitted user is this one, request.user, and we're going to set the foreign key attribute on the contact model to that user. So once we've added the foreign key, we can then call contact.save to actually save this to the database. Once we've saved it, there's one more step here. We're going to return a partial that contains a new row for our user. and we can then add that new row to the table that we have here on the front end. So we're going to have to create another partial here. Let's bring back the sidebar and go to the templates directory, and inside this partial directory, let's create a new file, and I'm going to call this contact row.html, and that's because this represents a new row that's going to be added into the table. So basically we're going to take the new contact and we're going to create a new table row from that new contact information. So let's go back to VS Code, and if we go to contact list.html, if we go to the table body, we have this for loop iterating over all of the contacts associated with the logged in user. What we're going to do is take the table row for each one of those, and I'm going to copy the code from this and bring it into contact row.html. So now we've extracted the code for a row into this partial template. We can then go to contact list.html, and I'm going to delete this. And we can actually use the Django include template tag here to reference this new contact row.html file. So we're including that, and that keeps everything consistent and in the same place. But the point of extracting this was we want to return this partial from the HTMX post request after adding the new contact to the database. So let's go back to views.py, and what we're going to do underneath the comment that I've added is we're going to return the render function here. We're going to pass the request into that as normal, and we're going to reference partials / contact row.html. That's the HTML file that we just created. And let's create a context dictionary here that's got the contact in that dictionary. We're going to set that to the user that we saved, or the contact that we saved above here on line 42, and that represents our new contact. We can then take the context and we can add that as the third parameter to the render function. So the reason we need a context that contains this contact key, if we go to contact row here, you can see that in this Django template variable, we are referencing the contact model and getting attributes from that in this table row. So now we have the basic setup here. We have a form in this modal that's going to send a post request using HTMX. That post request is going to take the data that's been submitted in the form, and it's going to send it to this view that we've created in Django. That's then going to check if the form is valid and save the contact to the database and return our new partial template. Now we've not got this finished yet. There's something else we're going to need to do, but let's test it out just now and see what happens. If I click add a new contact, and I'm going to fill this in with some details. After we've added these details, if we click add contact, notice that the form itself that submitted the post request, that form is what's replaced with the new content here. This is the new table row, but it's not going to the right place. We want it to go into the table that you can see in the background here. Now, if we refresh this page, notice that John Doe has been added into this table with the email address. So the actual database save has worked, but we need to change the target of where this response is going to be sent. We can do that by looking back at the form itself and setting the HX target property that we saw earlier in the series. Now we want the new row to be in the table body that appears in this table. So we have a table here and we have a table body that contains a row for each contact. And we want our new row to be at the top of that table. So we're going to target this table body. So let's give it an ID here, and I'm going to give it the ID of contact table body. And we can copy that, and note that if you don't want to give it an ID, you can reference the contact list here, that's the div ID, and then find the child table body within that. But I prefer when I'm using HTMX to give explicit IDs where I can. So we can use this ID here as the target. So let's fill that in and add that there. And we also need to add a swap mechanism. So at the moment, because this target is set to the table body, that means the response content, which is going to be the single row, is going to replace that entire body. Now we can change the swap behavior using the HX swap attribute in HTMX. It allows you to specify how the response will be swapped in relative to the target. Now the one that is the default is inner HTML. What we want to use is this one here, and it's after begin. This is going to insert the response, in other words, insert the new table row before the first child of the target element. Now if we go to the table body here in contact list, the first child is going to be the first table row for a contact. So if we set HX swap to after begin here, what's going to happen is it's going to add the new row just before that first child. In other words, the new table row is going to be at the top of the table. So let's set this to after begin, and then we can go back to our web application here. I'm going to refresh the page to bring in these new attributes, and let's add another new contact. So we've got John Doe 22 here. When we click add contact, look at the table in the background. Notice that this new guy has been added at the top of that table, so the new row has appeared in the table, and that is working fine. Now one problem is that the modal itself doesn't disappear on the page when we submit the form. So when we submit the form and we successfully add a new contact, we want that modal to be closed off, and we want to show the table instead. Now, something that I like to do in these scenarios is create a dedicated event that's going to be triggered on the client side. So basically, HTMX has this notion of events that you can trigger from the server. And the way you do that is by adding an HTTP header. Now in Django applications, what you can do is you can get a response by calling a function such as render. And to add HTTP headers, you can add them with this dictionary-like syntax. And HTMX has this HX trigger header that you can add to the response. I'm going to set this to a custom event, and you can call this anything you want. I'm going to call it success. If you have a bigger application with multiple models, you might want to call it something like contacts success or something like that. But I'm just going to call it success, and then we can return the response. Once we've added that, we can go back to the form that's triggering the post request when the form is submitted. And I'm going to add the HX on attribute, as we've seen before. And we can set this to an event. So the event that we're listening for here is the success event that we added as that header. And when we get that event, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the contact modal, and it's this one here. So let's get a reference to that and paste that in here. And these modals in Daisy UI, they have a .close method, and that's going to close the modal programmatically on the front end. And I also want to reset the form when we get that successful contact. And that's going to basically take this form and clear out all of the input fields so that it's ready for the next submission. So let's test this out, and then we'll go over that one more time. I'm going to refresh this page, and let's add another contact. So this is John Doe 33, and when we submit the form, you can see that the modal disappears and the new row is automatically added to that table. So that's all working now, and when we click the button, we have a new form ready to go for the next contact. So everything looks good. Now, of course, there are more advanced UI transitions we could do, for example, fading the modal out and adding some feedback to the user when a new row has been added to the table, or highlighting that new row in some way. I'll leave that as an exercise if you want to try that, but what we're going to do though in the next video is look at errors that might occur when you submit the form. For example, what if you add an email address that already exists in your contact list? That's been prevented if we go back to models.py here. And if we look at the contact model, we have this unique together constraint. So a user cannot add the same email address more than once. But we need to account for that on the front end, because if we try and add this email address again, and I've added that here, when we click add contact, nothing is happening. But if we go to our Django server, you can see the unique constraint has failed on the terminal. So we're going to need to handle these errors and show something to the client when they occur. We're going to handle that in the next video.